Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kieran and welcome to a brand new video series on the channel. Well, over the past few years I've expressed my love of the Fable series and my desire for its return. So when it was finally announced in 2020 that Fable would be coming back better than ever, maybe, I don't know, we've not seen any gameplay, I was just, filled to the brim with joy. So much joy, in fact, that I actually wanted to make more Fable videos on the channel, but I didn't really know what to make. Unlike others, I'm not a lore guy, I don't like making historic videos, this is not the history channel. But yes, I decided, hey Kieran, do it your own way, do your own thing. And so I came up with the idea of, hey, we already do community's idea for a potential Fallout 5, but I chat and have fun with ideas with the Fallout community, so why not do the same with Fable? So here we are. Here we are, doing the exact same kind of video, but just with a different game series that I also love. So before we dive in, however, if you have your own idea for the next Fable game, Fable 4, or just like a Fable spin-off game, please feel free to post it down below in the comments, because I love to read through them. I genuinely love reading every single comment that I get, especially if they're a game idea. So yeah, and also who knows, maybe they'll be featured in the next Community Ideas episode. You never know, just do it. Even if you're a wee bit shy, just post it down below. Why not? First idea comes from Insane Marshmallow over on Reddit, who says this: Playground Games delivered a map with 4 distinct seasons, with weekly seasonal changes in Forza Horizon 4. I'd love to see a real seasonal change in Fable, something that was promised all the way back before 2, with seasons affecting what parts of the map are transversable or accessible. I would say this would be so fucking cool, by the way. I love it when games introduce like a seasonal aspect to them, because it just brightens up the world. It makes the world feel more alive, And I love it when it affects gameplay, and since Playground have already developed this system for Forza, I wonder how hard or easy it will be to transfer the seasonal system from Forza Horizon 4 to Fable 4. I can just imagine just coming across this entrance to an entirely new area of the map, but I just can't quite get there just because of the season, maybe it's a winter and the entrance is all frozen over and I can't quite melt the ice, so I have to come back during the summer or something. That'd be quite cool. I don't know, I like little things like that, it's cool. There's just a lot of creativity to play around with when it comes to seasons. Like, imagine you could summon like a snowstorm during winter through the use of spells, and then during autumn it would be like I don't know, like a gust of leaves or something, like a tornado of leaves. But yeah, great idea from Insane Marshmallow. Oh, and by the way, all of these comments are from various Reddit posts about Fable ideas and stuff like that, so if you want to check out these ideas, or, maybe add more to these threads, I'll leave the link to all these comments down below. Next up, we have Heketo, who gives us a brief description of what he's looking for in Fable 4. If it's a true reboot, they're probably going to do a great deal of lore retconning. I always wanted to see a Fable that took place during the Old Kingdom. There's just so much untapped potential there. Customization would be neat. They can also tie in the morality system as well. For example, what if I want a different set of horns for my evil character? Examples are endless. As for the mortality system, there we are, they should have long-lasting effects on not only the character, but the landscape itself. The Old Kingdom is something that comes up quite a lot when fans are talking about what they want from Fable, and I'm definitely in that fucking ballpark as well. I'm all for exploring the Old Kingdom. It's a time period that's greatly interested me, and it's not really been touched on too much in the games. Like, we've dabbled in it a little bit, but not overlay, I'm just curious how Playground would go about doing this setting, because like Heketo says, they're probably going to do a lot of lore retconning, and that's completely fine, at least to me anyway. So if they're wanting to reboot the series and wipe the slate clean, they could start this game in the Old Kingdom, then when it comes to the pinnacle moment with the creation of the Spire, depending on the player's choices, maybe the Spire doesn't blow up everything, maybe it does. This could lead to some interesting stuff. Or maybe like the Spire does blow up everything afterwards, but it plays out like vastly different from what we've seen before. The morality system is something I absolutely loved in the game, so having the ability to customize my devilish look would be so cool, I must admit. Because it also just adds that little bit of personality to you, because in Fable 2, from what I remember, if you become really evil, you just look like another Fable protagonist, because you see screenshots of evil characters, they all roughly look the same. There's like tiny differences depending on your male or female, and if you have like tattoos and stuff like that, but there's not too much difference, so it'd be cool if you get a lot more customization with that. Like, I just imagine myself just embodying Overlord from the Overlord games, so it's like, yeah, I don't even have a face, I just have a shadow over my face and just dark red eyes. That would be fucking sick, I must admit. But yeah, cool idea, Hiketo, but on to the next one. This idea comes from Super Crispy, who talks a little bit more on the open world aspect of the upcoming game. Make the world, Albion, a little bit bigger, but don't open it entirely. While I love a good open world, a la the Elder Scrolls games, Fable at its heart is best suited to large areas separated by brief loading screens. Maybe that's just nostalgia talking, but a world like ancient Greece and Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a wee bit overwhelming. I'll take my medieval adventure in bite-sized chunks. Thank you very much. You missed the thank you very much. Bring back the humour. In the same vein as keeping the Fable aesthetic, keep the humour. Descriptions of items, certain quests and dialogues, loading screen tips, etc. all had like a slapstick quality that made the original game so much more endearing than the sequels. And also ditch the Sanctuary, but give a decent menu system. We all know Pierre Molyneux had issues with menus, but in Fable 1 and Fable 2, not Anniversary, the menus were somewhat navigatable and didn't clutter up too badly. Yeah, Super Crispy is completely on point here when it comes to the open world aspect of Fable. Fable to me has never really been a big AAA open world game. It's never really been that. It was never about looking at a map and then seeing that there's a fuck ton of quest markers, fuck ton of like objectives and stuff like that to check out. I actually recently played Cyberpunk in AC Valhalla, and I too got a bit overwhelmed with just how many random markers just scattered the screen and scattered the map. For me, I just get stressed out with these types of open world games because I feel like I have an obligation to check out every single one, which just, I don't know, it feels boring after a while because they're all just, it's just shit to fill up the game, you know? That's what half of these markers are anyway. So when it comes to Fable, open world, don't do this. It's like, yeah, just keep it like it was like with the original games. Maybe have a little bit of open world in there. I don't know, but it's Playground games, so of course they're probably going to do an open world, but like, just don't be a Ubisoft. Just don't do Ubisoft, okay? Like, just don't do it. The humour as well is just a staple of Fable, so if you don't have that in the new game, it will just lose its identity. It won't be Fable. I'm hopeful that Playground Games sees what actually made Fable so special and just go all in for it, you know? Next idea we have is from Rabid Ninja 64. Bring back older elements such as magic and the like, but forward the timeline. I mean, F3 was in like, what, 1850? Can you imagine how insane it would be if they played World War I with magic users? No way, that's stupid. Yeah, that is stupid. I would hate that. I would hate that. I've heard this so many times with franchises, with fans wanting full games set in places and time periods that would just take away the magic of what makes these games, you know? World War I Fable would just be so fucking off for me. I'm like, that for me personally anyway. Like, don't get me wrong, I like seeing the idea of seeing Albion progress and evolve throughout the games, but when it starts catching up with relatively modern history, I think it kind of loses that touch, you know? Fable 2's time period was quite good because there was still guns there, but it wasn't like there wasn't any like full-scale war combat with machine guns and shit like that, you know? So that's why when talking time periods for the next title, I would love to see the game just set a little bit before Fable 3, or maybe just have it as a full-on reboot. Our final idea of the video goes to Gropstopper, who talks a bit about choices. I'm all for a wider range of morality, and with that heroic morphs. I also think that it is really important to expand the consequences of one's actions and provide a more complex system of right and wrong. I don't want the choices in Fable, however, to turn into the kind of choices you see in The Witcher 3. Because morality affects the growth and development of the hero, it needs to be clear enough for the player to know what sort of change this choice will make to their hero. I think that's important. I feel like I keep saying yes, I agree throughout this entire video, but it's true. I think most Fable fans are basically on the same page as to what we're looking for in the next game. One fear of mine is for Playground Games to turn Fable into another Witcher 3 style game. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a good game, but over the recent years I've seen so many RPG franchises and so many just game franchises in general try to capture the Witcher 3, which, don't get me wrong, it isn't bad, but at the same time, don't all just go for The Witcher 3 every fucking time. Like, just do your own thing. You can be inspired by The Witcher 3, but don't try to adopt The Witcher 3. That being said, I would love choices in Fable to result in great changes to the land around me. For example, if I didn't do a side quest to help a farmer or something like that defend his property from bandits, and in turn his land was burnt and his farm was like completely obliterated or something like that, that would be very impactful. I would feel quite guilty, actually. For example, recently in Cyberpunk, I was doing like odd bits and pieces with side quests and things, not knowing some quests had time constraints. So there was this one side quest where I had to go keep talking to my neighbour because he was suffering from depression or something like that, I think. And I forgot to come back to speak to him one day. Then later on in the game, I was like, you know what, let's go back and do some side quests. Let's go like clean stuff up. And so I went back to the apartment building to finish up the quest, and then I seen the police were outside his door, and it turns out that he actually killed himself because he had no one to talk to, and I was like, yes. Choice and consequence, ladies and gentlemen, in very little ways. Like, I felt so fucking guilty. I was like, oh no. Like, even the game told me to come back in a few hours, but I came back in a few weeks. So yeah, shit like that would be so cool in Fable, I must admit. Obviously, don't have every quest have time constraints and things like that, but maybe just have some in there just to spice things up a wee bit. Anyway, that's me for this video. Hope you all enjoyed my first episode of Community Ideas for Fable, and again, leave your ideas down in the comments section below. They could be featured in the next episode, you never know. And also, by the way, this is my first proper video of being back, so if I'm a little bit off in terms of reading the script and reading stuff, and just saying things, and maybe I'm saying things a bit too fast, please leave your feedback down in the comments, just so I can, you know, get back to the usual groove, you know? Maybe in a few videos time I get back to that slow narrator groove, you know? So, because I keep saying you know, but at the end of every sentence. Special thanks to my lovely wee patrons, Cat G, Proxy1, and TG Monster, for your continued support over on Patreon. Thank you guys so much. I know it's been a while since I post anything over there, but I will try to do more things, especially since I'm coming back from a long break. So yeah, hopefully we get back in the swing of things. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed, and yeah, I hope more people come to the channel and talk about Fable and stuff, because I love Fable. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. See you all next time. Bye bye.